Have you ever imagined the sacrifice of a king? Picture a colossal temple, nobles and priests in a spectacular ritual, and the most powerful ruler of the land giving his life as an offering. This is not a fictional story, it really happened in pre-Hispanic civilizations. Let us delve into the fascinating and brutal world of social hierarchy in the pre-Columbian cultures of America, where reality surpasses any fiction you can imagine. During the pre-Hispanic era, from Mexico to the Andes, the social structure was extraordinary in its complexity and diversity, but all shared a common thread: a strict and well-defined hierarchy. At the top, there was no margin for error. There were leaders who sometimes risked everything. Imagine being an Aztec emperor like Moctezuma, considered both king and god by his people. He governed with the immense responsibility of maintaining not only an expanding empire but also the spiritual balance of the universe. His decisions could tip the scales between prosperity and destruction. His leadership involved grand ceremonies, where every word and gesture held power and meaning, reflecting the fate of his people. But let's step back for a moment. Not everyone was born with a crown, whether metaphorical or literal. The social hierarchy began much lower down. At the base of the pyramid were the farmers and artisans, who supported society through their daily work. Their life was a rhythmic dance between survival and honor. Can you imagine the weight of each ear of corn gathered in the milpa? It was almost poetic in its routine, but essential, like the heartbeat of a heart struggling to survive. Climbing up a rung, you would find the warriors, imposing and charismatic figures whose bravery and skills elevated them in society. Being a warrior was not just a job, it was a great honor. Imagine the contrast between the bustling life of the markets and the silence of the battlefield, where only the dull sound of drums and the skin of the warriors vibrated with the adrenaline of combat could be heard. A tremor that symbolized power, respect, and a touch of fear. But the social scale did not stop there. Merchants were also a formidable pillar, carrying vital products and information from one place to another. They were true entrepreneurs who, on their trade routes, often traversing hostile territories, wove an invisible network that sustained the social and economic fabric. Higher up, the caste of priests and shamans dominated the world between the human and the divine. Their knowledge of astronomy and spirituality dictated the social order with pinpoint accuracy. These guardians of knowledge not only communicated with the gods but were also architects of time itself. The solar cycles, celestial movements, and myths were in their hands, shaping destiny. Finally, at the pinnacle of this complex social system was the supreme leader. But the question remains: when a sovereign fell, did the kingdom crumble with him, or did it simply adapt and adjust like a leaf surrendering to the river? The answer lies in the legacy of these civilizations, in the history told by their ruins. The Mexica, Maya, Inca, and many other cultures across the continent, each with its own peculiarities, left us stories that deserve to be told, lived, and reflected upon. So the next time you contemplate the pyramids or the stone temples covered in jungle, remember that their stories of sacrifice, love, war, and fantasy were woven that defined not just those warriors and kings but an entire society navigating between the earthly and the celestial.